Welcome back, everyone. I'm Robbie.
I'm Jeremy.
And we're continuing with our look through the Harry Potter franchise. We're up to part 4. The Goblet of Fire is the pivotal story in the entire franchise. These are our thoughts.
Hit it! I'd like to make an announcement. Hogwarts Castle will not only be your home this year, but home to some very special guests as well. Please welcome our friends from the north, the proud sons of Durmstrang. And now, the lovely ladies of Beauxbatons.
Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire was directed by Mike Newell, and it stars, of course, Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, Emma Watson, along with plenty of returning cast, and adding to the roster is Brendan Gleeson as Mad-Eye Moody, and of course the unbelievable Ralph Fiennes finally coming in as Lord Voldemort.
Of course, we had Rob Pattinson as well.
Rob Pattinson coming in, pre-Twilight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really ruined his career. This one, it again takes a pretty big turn, but it still kind of stays on the dark side, leading on from the third one. So Harry going into the Triwizard Tournament is like this massive deal, and pretty much the whole story is just
revolving around that.
Him doing each of the stages of the Triwizard Tournament
and trying to solve the mystery of who put his name in the Goblet of Fire. Again, spoiler warning for both movie and book. So that's your official warning. If you haven't seen them or read them, switch off now and come back later. But so what do you think of it?
Yeah, it's okay.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah,
it's okay. Yeah,
it's my least favorite Harry Potter movie
by far for me.
Yeah.
It is easily my least favorite.
Yes. And the reason that is because it's kind of like that bratty, stupid teenage era of their lives, and I hate the long hair on Harry for starters.
On all of them.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
all have long hair.
And I hate the whole dark I hate the world, sort of persona they're all doing throughout the film. And
granted, it is in the book, but the book really balances that with every other aspect in the story, whereas here that takes such a front and center approach, and it kind of sidelines a lot of other things, which really annoys me about it. It gets so focused on, like you said, that ratty kind of immature
and
period, a stage that teenagers go through.
There's that tiny little bit where it's Harry and Ron hate each other for no real reason, and then there's the fact that everyone is really angry, or not angry, but they're making fun of Harry when he becomes one of the Triwizard champions, and they get the stupid badges, and it's he's Harry Potter, you can't do that to Harry Potter. What the hell? And it's just, I don't know, it just...
I didn't dislike the idea of that, because like I said, it's in the book and it doesn't bother me in the book. It's the way the movie handles it. Just something about it just never really gelled with me. Because the book is one of my favourites in the series. But then
the book is?
The book is one of my favourites in the series.
The book is my least favourite as well. So.
Oh wow, so the book is probably my top 3. But then the movie is my least favourite. So, they just... I know there was a lot to cut out, and I'm glad they didn't split this in 2. And the stuff they cut out makes sense, but the stuff they left in, at times, I don't think was handled the best. The way they interpreted certain things, the dragon was fine. The lake was pretty good. The maze I didn't like. The maze was completely off from what the book did. It lost all the suspense and mystery and danger that the book had. There's some elements that are done exceptionally well, like Voldemort. And Mad-Eye Moody's class, that was done perfectly. But then other things, like the introduction of the foreign schools, the French and Bulgarian school.
Yep.
I thought that was unnecessarily drawn out, and was just showy and flashy for the sake of being showy and flashy. I didn't like that much. And there are just other elements in it that were just very goofy almost, the way they pulled it off. It felt very immature, some things. And not just the kids behaving that way, just the movie itself felt. It just sticks out to one as the most poorly made of all of them.
Yeah, I agree, and Daniel Radcliffe is not good at crying. That's something I've learnt from number 3 and number 4.
He gets better, much better than the Deathly Hallows, but at this stage he wasn't the best.
Yeah, like
and Rupert wasn't very good at pulling tantrums as Ron.
There was something missing from the movie, I found. It's like there was this constant sort of letdown with sort of a tiny bit of everyone's acting, and it kind of just led to like this big sort of problem I had with it. And like I expected the Yule Ball to be a lot different.
The Yule Ball, it just felt. I didn't like the introduction of the rock songs during that. That felt very out of place.
And like the way they were acting at the Yule Ball and they like didn't want to dance, like it's just bratty, annoying teenagers.
And it does it so much. Yeah, that's what I mean. It overplays it. It's not woven into the story properly. It's really there, and everything like takes a back seat for that stuff, which is really annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
There are some really big plot points in the movie in the book, which are completely stripped out, which don't really play into the Harry Voldemort story, so I get where they're going. But the stuff that was left in, I felt didn't feel... Like the world didn't feel fleshed out like number 1, 2, and even 3 did. It felt very contained, and
it did.
The movie doesn't feel big.
Yeah, it felt. It's very hyper focused.
Yeah. On
the Triwizard Tournament, and not so much
anything else.
Yeah.
I think just cutting out just little things like the Dursleys at the beginning, not having that intro, really kind of like worked against it, because the first 3 have that great transition from the Muggle world to the Wizard world, and even though we've seen it before, I feel it just needs it to kickstart the magic.
Yeah.
And because you're already thrown into, it does have the first scene in the book, which is great. The Frank, the Muggle, stumbling upon the manor and being killed by Voldemort. That was all fantastic. But then it jumps straight to the Weasley's house and Harry being working up to the Quidditch World Cup. There's no build up to any of that. It kind of, my issue with Prison of Azkaban, where I felt it went through the paces too quickly, this does it times 100. It just moves through everything at such a breakneck speed.
Yeah.
Eliminating so many great moments, and you can just feel it that it's been rushed through. Like the Quidditch World Cup, the way that transitions from leading up to it, to the actual Quidditch World Cup, to the stuff afterwards, that's all done within the space of minutes. And it just feels just like it's just being crammed in there.
It does, yes, I agree. And Rita Skeeter as well.
She's got nothing to do in this.
She had such, like, the whole, like, ladybug thing and being trapped, like, that's...
She is just as big a character as any of the professors in the books, and she is...
She's just an annoying, like... Yeah. She's just, like, there, like, she doesn't...
And what's strange about that, she gets a big introduction, but then she's just gone all of a sudden, and she doesn't reappear later on in the franchise, except for, like, a cameo, I think. She's just gone. This is her entire role.
It's just wasted.
Completely wasted.
There's something else that I think every single Harry Potter fan will agree with me is probably the biggest part of this movie that deviates from the book. And it's really small, but it's really funny when you think about it. Straight after Harry gets picked in the Triwizard Tournament,
I know what you're about to say.
Dumbledore, in the movie, runs up to him and says, "Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?"
Push him against the wall. Yeah. It's really aggressive to him.
And in the book, it's like, "Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?" Dumbledore said calmly. Yeah. And it's like, what? Totally off character.
Yeah,
except
very off character. He gets angry at him, like he's like yelling at him in the Great Hall, like Harry Potter.
yeah.
And then he walks up to me, and like pushes the thing in his face. I'm like, what are you doing?
So angry.
He's always meant to be on Harry's. That's the one thing of Dumbledore. He's always on Harry's side.
Yeah.
He knows he's never the one who's done all any of this stuff. So why is he so angry with him? Yeah, that whole bit was strange. I thought a weird choice. Okay, Brendan Gleeson as Mad Eye Moody. I thought he did it very well.
Yeah, he did.
And I'm still not 100% on board with the look of the eye. Did I read it wrong, or was it ever an eye patch that's holding in the eye? Is that?
I don't know. I'm actually not sure, but yeah.
Actually, there was one shot that I don't like when Mad Eye first appears, and then you see his point of view through his eye, focusing on Harry, and it's like, I'm like, it's not a robotic eye. It's magic. It wouldn't be making those whirring noises, whizzing noises. Like it's like the Terminator, like focusing in on.
Yeah, that's true. And that's actually you say that's the only time you ever see anything from his eyes point of view. But like it is magical. Like it can see through walls. It can see, like, you can see like infrared. It can see all sorts.
Yeah.
But you never actually. I guess.
They never really explore that either in the movie. The only thing they say is, you see Seamus putting gum under his chair. And Mad Eye Moody catches him. He's like, oh, the old Carter can see the back of his head.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously we have to talk about the third task, and obviously Voldemort. The portkey and everything. The portkey and all that I thought was handled very well. Voldemort's rebirth I thought was done extremely well.
Well, this was creepy.
I got a little gripe with that scene. And that is that they ditched the amazing Voldemort theme from the first film. It never comes back.
That's true.
It's a brand new theme, and it's big, it's threatening, but it's just noise, kind of. It's just loud noises. John Williams had this amazing Voldemort theme that carried through Philosopher's Stone and a little bit into Chamber of Secrets, and it's gone here, completely gone, and it never comes back in any of the movies.
Yeah, Ralph Fiennes really saves that scene for that reason, I think. Like, from the moment they get to the graveyard, it's, like, I love the fact, like, you're right, the whole rebirth of Voldemort's really cool. But I love the fact that Voldemort almost forgets Harry's there, as if, like, he has better things to sort out with him.
Which he kind of does in the book. He's so self-obsessed with himself.
Yeah, exactly. And he's talking to all of his Death Eaters. And then all of a sudden, you know, like, what happens in the movie? Like, Harry moves or does something.
Voldemort goes over and he touches Cedric with his foot.
Don't touch
such a shame. He's like, oh, Harry, I forgot you were there.
Yeah, that's right.
He's great. And what I loved, watching the making of Ralph Fiennes, he talks about how he approached Voldemort. He wanted Voldemort to be very soft-spoken with these insane outbursts of rage, and it works so well. He'll be talking so calmly and so soft-spoken, and then just like that, you just feel this insane rage and this burst of like just energy just comes through him. He just like surges at Harry, and then he pulls it back again, and it just makes Voldemort feel very unpredictable, and it's great.
Yeah. Yes, that ending was quite dramatic, but also the whole, I forget the name of it. What's the spell that creates the
Priori
Incantatem? That's right. That whole thing with like then Lily and James was really cool.
That was done very well. Yeah.
Also, J.K. Rowling admitted fault to a mistake in this book when it came to that. Priori Incantatem is supposed to release like the victims of the spells in reverse, but what happened? Because it was Frank, and then it was Cedric, Frank, and then Lily and James, but Lily and James came out in the wrong order.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's something people noticed, but J.K. Rowling, not long ago, well, actually a little while back now, said that she actually made a mistake doing that, which they fixed in the movie.
Yeah.
So, so I mean, that's at least one thing the movie got right.
Cool, it gets a point for that.
Yeah. But yes, and then they return back with Cedric's body, and then
that whole finale is done very well. The that is one point where the music does a great job covering up some of the lack of acting for some of the kids. Like I said before, Dane Radcliffe is not at that stage. He wasn't the best at crying, and they do a good job of kind of just working around that. I think focusing more on the reactions of the crowds, and you see, Hagrid and everyone like reacting to seeing Cedric's dead body, which I think worked very well. And then just kind of like pulls back, and all you hear is just, oh man, Amos Diggory, his reaction gets me.
That was good.
Every single time.
He can cry.
Yeah. And just the yell of anguish that he has as it pulls back, and you see just Hogwarts just overcast and grey, and all you hear is Amos Diggory's yelling, was so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But then I think the ending is slightly spoiled again by something I think a few of the movies in the middle part of the series fell into the trap of, which is they have these big dramatic endings and then they kind of brush over for really corny, final, cheesy lines. And, you have this big dramatic thing, you have Cedric's farewell and everything. And then, the two visiting schools leave. And then you have this really corny dialogue from Hermione, where she's like, no, Ron, do you think we're ever going to get a normal year at Hogwarts? And they're like, no. I'm like, oh, you just ruined the whole tone just there.
That sums up perfectly the whole stupid teenager phase that they went through from the start of the movie, in my opinion.
But all the Phoenix does a bit as well. It's like, just this final really cheesy line, and it just didn't need it. All we needed just the visuals, and it would have worked so well. Yeah, and it's a muddled movie. It is a muddled movie for me. Yeah. What are you giving it?
I'll give it 4. Actually, 3.5 stars.
That's what I am. Yeah. It's a 3.5 for me. Damn, that's low for a Harry Potter movie.
No.
Yeah, 3.5.
Oh.
This year, Hogwarts will play host to a legendary event. The Triwizard Tournament, during which time a single student gets to represent his or her school in a series of magical contests. Eternal glory awaits the student who wins the tournament.
Dark and difficult times lie ahead, Harry. Soon we must all face the choice between what is right and what is easy.
Alright, Cinephiles, thanks for watching. Those are our thoughts on the 4th installment on the Harry Potter franchise, the Goblet of Fire. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to check out our 5th installment coming soon, the Order of the Phoenix. Hit up the comment section down below, also tell us what you thought of the movie. Did you agree with us? Who knows? But that's it for now, guys. We'll see you at the movies.